If you're a childcare center owner, you're running a small to medium-sized childcare program and you are investing under $100 a day in ads, you're probably wasting your money on ads, and I want to show you in this video how you're doing that and how to fix it. So if you're new here, my name is Christina Rizakos. I run the Childcare Business Marketing Agency. I myself am an early childhood educator by trade. I actually ran my own childcare center for over 16 years, sold it a few years ago. Now I am a certified digital marketing strategist, and I run the Childcare Business Marketing Agency, where we specialize in helping home daycare providers as well as small to medium-sized childcare center owners with their social media marketing. They get noticed online, how to get more visibility, and how to fully book their programs using online marketing. So in this video, I really want to focus on small to medium-sized childcare center owners who are already investing in ads. So if you're not investing in ads, you don't need to watch. But if you are, I want you to pay close attention because I'm going to walk you through the best, most cost-effective ad strategy that you should definitely be implementing if you don't have an ad budget of at least, let's say, $100 a day to be spending on ads, okay? So when you're investing in ads, the type of campaign matters. It matters because there are some campaigns that cost a lot of money. So the most expensive is a lead gen campaign or a conversion campaign where you're actually asking the platform to go out and find you leads, find you people that can fill out a form for you or purchase something, right? And one of the most cost-effective ones to run is a video views campaign, because in that campaign, the objective is you are asking Meta to go out and show videos to your audience that may or may not be ready for childcare, to enroll their child right now, okay? And that's really important because when you are asking Meta to go out and find you leads, Meta is gonna go, let's say you have 1,000 people in your community, 1 or 2% may be ready to, they may be ready to fill out the form and to book a visit and to show up and to actually take action and enroll. That's not a lot of people. It's not a lot of people. So you're asking the machine to work harder to find you the people that are most likely to fill out a form. And then the machine goes out and does this, and then you get 1 or 2 leads submitted, for example. And then what happens? You try to reach out, nobody's messaging you back, nobody's answering the phone, and you feel like you spent a lot of money, right? But there's 99% of people in your community that may not be ready right now for childcare, but they might know someone who is. They might be pregnant and waiting to give birth to start shopping around for childcare. Maybe they're in childcare right now, but they're not really happy with the services. So they're thinking, maybe it's time we start looking somewhere else. Maybe they're in the process of moving. Maybe they're just comparing centers, right? And they're thinking which one is the best fit for their family. So there's a lot of other clients that might not be ready to enroll in this instant, but will eventually need childcare, right? So that in itself is extremely important because when you're asking Facebook to get you a lead, it's very, very expensive. But if you're asking Facebook to go out and find you people that you can show your content to, people that are actually going to watch, that is completely different. So videos will reach more people. They are really cost effective. And you can actually start campaigns for as little as $5 a day, which is peanuts, okay? So that's the first thing I want you to think about. If you feel like you're spending a lot of money, it might be that you have the wrong objective in your ads manager, and that's definitely something to look at. The other thing I want you to consider is the type of creative. So the type of post, graphic, video, whatever it is that you're putting in front of eyeballs, it has to be diverse. With the new updates that Meta rolled out the last couple of months, it's really important that you leverage creatives in a very diverse way, okay? Because Facebook will take the right piece of content, so whatever that is, it could be a graphic, it could be a video, and it's going to try to find the best client to match it to. So if you're only feeding it flyers, it's going to think, let's say you have 5 flyers out as an ad, it's going to think, well, everything looks the same, so it's just one piece of content, right? So it's really important that you think about your ideal client, where they're at in their decision-making journey. Are they just looking? Are they pregnant right now? Are they moving to your area? Are they not satisfied with their present childcare? Are they actively seeking childcare right now? And then try to create creatives that will match that, okay? And that's really important. Now, the platforms are targeting targeting your audience using your creative. So the actual graphic will do the targeting, and then your ad copy after that. Okay. So it's really important that you think of different ways that you can speak to clients, again, depending where they're at in their journey, and put content in front of them that reflects that, so that Facebook can say, hey, okay, so this client just moved in the area and this is a post that talks about that. Let me just show them this. And if that doesn't work, let me take, another creative and show them this. And if that doesn't work, let me take this creative and show them this, right? So it actually does that inside the platform using Andromeda. So it's really important that you think about that when you are creating your creatives, videos, ads, whatever they are, right? The other thing I want you to consider is that you have to have diverse creative. So don't just create graphics for all of, your ideal client's journey. So try to leverage things like carousel ads, video reviews, videos of yourself, reels of the kids playing, testimonials, parents talking on video. So there's a lot of different things, and the creatives are actually diverse, right? It's not just you going in and changing a color in the background. You're actually putting in the work, and everything looks completely different. Now, that being said, the other thing you want to think about is your follow-up process. So let's say you have a great messaging, you know exactly where your client is in their journey, you're creating creatives to really speak to the client in different areas of their decision-making journey. You're getting people booking visits, you're getting people to enroll. What happens after that? Well, after that, you have to make sure that you have a strong tour process, obviously. So you're doing all this work. You want to make sure that any client that messages you, that visits your website, that showed interest somehow, that you can not only follow up with them in the best way, but you can also retarget them with more content, right? Because someone may see one of your videos but not take action right away. And that's okay. We know that clients need to have many touch points in order to feel confident enough to say, yes, let me send them a message, right? I read something the other day that it takes someone 11 touch points and 4 or 5 different platforms to actually feel as though that they're ready to take action. So that's a lot. It's a lot of touch points. It could be your Google My Business profile. They could go on Instagram, and they could go on your website. They could go on your social media and look at, your information. So it's a lot of touch points, and you have to make sure that you are retargeting anyone that goes on these platforms with more content in your ads, right? So if your budget is only $25 a day, for example, the best thing to do is leverage our video views ad at the beginning, and then have some type of strategy at the bottom of the funnel where you are retargeting these clients with reels and promotions and videos of yourself and open house invites and social proof, things that are going to get them to move along in that journey, so that they can eventually send you a DM, call you directly, book a visit, walk in your center, whatever it is, right? So you always want to be thinking of that follow-up process. What happens, from the beginning of, let's say someone watches my video all the way to the end. And then once they do book a visit, obviously, then you put them through your tour process, and then you hopefully get them to enroll. So as you can see, it's a lot of moving pieces. It's not just ads that we're just throwing $20 in, Ads Manager and hoping it works. You have to have a strategy. So if you're spending $25 a day, tweaking your campaign, making sure your messaging is on point, making sure that you have all the creatives that you need to have inside your ad account, and then having a strong retargeting campaign as well. But more importantly, once you do get them to fill out a form or whatever that is, that your follow-up process is really strong, and you keep following up, email, texting, calling them, so that you can get them to commit to an appointment. And once they're there, you can put them through your tour process and hopefully get them to enroll. So it's a lot of moving pieces. So if you are someone that's just boosting random posts, it's not going to work because it's not strategic. If you're someone that's only creating a flyer and just hoping it works, it's not going to work because there's no strategy behind it. Ads have changed a lot. They keep changing every single week. There's always something new coming out. And it's really important that you understand that you have to have the right campaign creative. You have to have the right objective depending on your ad budget. And you have to make sure that you're testing and tweaking your messaging so that you can stay in the feed of locals and hopefully get them to book a visit and enroll, right? And it's really important to understand that it's not just let's throw $100 to the machine and we're going to fully book our program overnight. There's a lot of work involved, a lot of strategy involved, but it's definitely doable. But the last thing that I want for you is to be adding money in the machine and hoping that it works, and then when it doesn't work, saying, oh, well, it didn't work, it's a scam, it's a waste of money, because it really isn't, right? The name of the game here is really to stay consistent and to stay visible. It's not Meta's job to get you the enrollment. It's their job to get you visibility and to get you reach and to get you more parents to become aware of you, and hopefully to get you a lead. But a lead is not an enrollment. Only because someone gave you their phone number and their email doesn't mean that there are a guaranteed enrollment, right? That's when all the strategy that we talked about with retargeting and following up, that's where that comes into place, because you need to be always consistently, in the feet of locals to get them to take notice, but also to trust you as someone that is a viable service when it comes to their child, right? So that's all works together in a beautiful marketing puzzle, a marketing engine. And I hope that this kind of clarified a little bit, especially for those that are running ads. If you are someone that's running a center, again, small to medium sized, and you're just burnt out, you're tired, you just don't know how to do this, you are investing in ads, but it's just not working, I'd love to look at your setup and give you like a free audit to see if I can kind of fix things up a bit. All my links are in the notes somewhere in the description around this video. Make sure you check those out. And other than that, have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.